difficult to discuss about the spirituality because there's two worlds. The one we know and the spiritual one. When you say, for example, in the spiritual way, when I do something to you, I do it to me because we are one. But at the same time, what everyone experiences, when I give, for example, money to you, I'm losing the money and you are gaining the money. And we can do the account of more and I have less.
No. We'll proceed with this example itself. Did we get what was said? What was said was that I had said previously that in the spiritual world, what one does to the other is what one does to the self, to himself. Here, a counter example is coming. He's saying, suppose he gives me a coin. Then I gain a coin and he loses a coin. Two different things are happening. What is happening to me is not the same as what is happening to him. What is happening to me is the opposite of what is happening to him. So he's saying that the spiritual world and the real world are different. They are not. This example is misplaced. We'll see how. Why do you remember giving somebody a coin?
Because we are expecting something in return.
When do you remember giving something to somebody? When do you keep account and record of what you have given to somebody? Only then you remember it, right? You are eating and your little child comes to you and you give half your bread to him. Do you remember it? Do you remember it? But you are talking of this event, giving a coin, so surely you can talk of it only when you remember it. Now, when will you remember it? We are talking of the psychological happening, not the material happening. When will you remember giving a coin to somebody? When it means something to you. So it is an act of ego. You are attaching value to the coin. The other fellow, if he too remembers receiving a coin, then what is happening there? It has value for him too. Now the same thing is happening. These are two ends of duality. He is giving importance because he thought he has lost something, and he is giving importance because he thinks he has gained something. It's the same psychological event that is unfolding itself. There, the insecure ego is feeling that it has lost something and hence puffing up. When you feel that you have lost something, what happens to your sense of I? You are sitting silently by the river and suddenly you feel that you have lost something. Your wallet is missing. Now what happens to your sense of I? Go into the event. Go into the event. What happens to it? You are sitting by the river. You are one with the river. You are just sitting and suddenly something reminds you that you have lost your wallet. Now what happens?
You get disturbed.
You get disturbed. Yes. And the I suddenly leaps up. My wallet, what would happen to me? There were 3 credit cards there. Do I call up my wife? Do I call up the customer care? What else was there? The I immediately swells up, right? So losing of something leads to an inflation of the ego. The ego is a strange thing. When it gets hurt, then it gets bigger. Hurt is a pleasure, you know. When you get hurt, the ego gets bigger. So in losing, your ego has inflated. Now that fellow who has received the coin, he has received the coin, so what happens to him? Same thing. Oh, I got the coin. There it is fear, here it is greed. Because the event means something to him. If I can get 1 coin, maybe I can get 2 more coins. What happens to the sense of I? So is the same event not taking place at both the ends? If you look only superficially, then you will feel that you have lost and he has gained. The fact is, the same thing has happened in both the places. Such are all our worldly dealings. all our worldly dealings of this way only. Whether you win or whether you lose, the ego only gets bigger and bigger. You know of that entity called entropy in physics? Entropy is unidirectional. Whatever you do, it only increases. Most other quantities that you know of, they increase and they decrease. Distance increases, it decreases. Force, power, energy, velocity, current, voltage difference, magnetism, all increase as well as decrease. Entropy just increases. Such is the ego. Whatever you do, even to diminish the ego, only nourishes the ego. If your house is burnt, the ego swells up. I will have to do something now. And if you get a new house, the ego again swells up. I got a new house. Such a trickster is the ego. But that you can see only if you do not look at events superficially. Otherwise you will feel, I have lost, he has gained. No, nobody has lost and nobody has gained. Both have just been fooled. Yes, you're saying something.
So, what's the solution to drop the ego? If we win or if we lose, the ego gets bigger?
Asking this question, could he have dropped the ego? When your whole perception of the event is superficial, how will you ever drop the happening? When you don't even know the happening because the happening is a little deeper, how will you ever drop it? When you are feeling you have lost the coin, how will you see that even in losing, the ego has swelled up? I repeat, the ego is an entity which increases by any effort of yours. Even the effort to get rid of the ego nourishes the ego. Whatever you will try to reduce the ego will only inflate the ego. Whatever you will try to alleviate your suffering will only enhance your suffering. So any methods that you choose, any smartness that you try, any wisdom that you apply will always be delivering the opposite of what it is intended to deliver. The wise man hence simply surrenders. Instead of striving any further, trying any further, he simply knows that I am in such a situation where if I move, I only get hurt even more. Kabir puts it very beautifully. He says, this world is a thorny bush and you are stuck in it. This world is a thorny bush. ये संसार कांटन की झाड़ी. And you are stuck in it. Now, even if you try to do something to help yourself, you will only get more wounds. उलझ उलझ मर जाना है. ये संसार काटन की झाड़ी उलझ उलझ मर जाना है. This world is a bush full of thorns. You move left, you get hurt. You move right, again you will get hurt. What to do? Not to do. Stay still. Stay still. But I know how the doer mind is reacting to this statement. The mind is saying, if we stay still, then we will die of starvation. If we stay still, then we are just dependent on random chance. Kabir does not look at future. He only knows the fact of the happening. He says, even if you try to break free of your situation will only worsen. Yes, please.
I've read and I like this little bit my philosophy that we have to accept what comes and let go what goes and stay with what stays. But my question is, what is the limits in accepting what comes? Should we accept everything?
The difference between acceptance and non-resistance is a thin one. But if you do not understand, or if you get a teacher who is all muddled up himself, then he will start calling non-resistance as acceptance. Non-resistance is not acceptance. Non-resistance means I will not be there even to accept. Because if I am there, my presence itself is a resistance. Non-resistance means getting rid of that I which accepts or rejects. If you are accepting, tell me, will you not reject at some stage? If you are accepting, at least you know what rejection is. You reserve the right to reject, don't you? You are saying, I am accepting. I could have rejected, but I am accepting. Non-resistance is to drop the right to accept. If you are still accepting, you are still so strong. You are the authority. You are the authority who accepts.
No, I'm thinking that if we drop, it means we are attached. So we don't have, like you said, to move, to get still.
More accurately, it is not even about dropping. It is about letting the dropping happen and not obstruct it. You will drop only selectively. When you throw garbage out of your house, do you also throw out your television and your wife? You only drop things selectively. You only drop that which you think is not valuable. But when the dropping happens by itself, then anything can get dropped. Then even you can get dropped out of your house. Even the dropper can get dropped.
Is that dropping occurs gradually, or is all at the same time?
And that puts so much of pressure on you. No, it's a relief. It's a relief because if it happens gradually, you'll have to entertain thoughts of it for a long while. You'll have to keep thinking, oh, it is to be dropped, it is to be dropped. When the dropping just happens, then the thing is gone and the thought is gone. Otherwise, the thought will keep making life hell. What gets drops like this. You just say, ah, and it's gone. You have seen the futility of it. It's gone. And it usually goes like a joke with a smile. Ah, gone. The Buddha would say, gate gate paragate swaha. Gone, totally gone, evaporated.